What is our first main topic today?
First one is from Gary, John Stout. Hello, John and crew. News from the underground, or rumor mill, more likely. Been hearing rumors that Brie Larson might be up for the role of Ahsoka Tano in a new Star Wars movie.
Okay, this is something that started circulating around a couple of days ago. And some of you guys might have been seeing this on Twitter and online. I've been having a few people writing to me about it, asking about it. Here's where this comes from, all right? This is where this whole thing is coming from about Brie Larson as Ahsoka. There's been a couple of things that have happened. Number one, this is going back a ways. Samuel L. Jackson and Brie Larson were telling the story about Brie had communicated to Sam Jackson how huge of a Star Wars fan she's always been her whole life. And Sam Jackson, on May the 4th, they were getting together to do something, whether they were still shooting Captain Marvel, I can't remember. But on May the 4th, Star Wars Day, Sam Jackson brought his lightsaber to set for her, and he let her wield it and all that kind of stuff. And as Samuel Jackson tells the story, she was crying. Like, she was like so overwhelmed actually holding a real Star Wars lightsaber from the movies. She was crying. So that got a lot of people talking, whoa, could we ever see Brie Larson in a movie? Now, fast forward that a little bit, and the actress, the voice actress who does the voice of Ahsoka Tano in the Star Wars animated stuff is Ashley Eckstein. I always get her last name wrong. Delightful person, by the way.
Yeah.
She does a lot of stuff in the geek sphere. But anyway, she just put out some social media stuff about, she had a massive geek out moment where she just, I think the other day, was at one of the big debut events of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. And she ran into Brie Larson. And she just wrote all this kind of stuff about that and blah, blah, blah. So you have a couple of things here. You have Brie Larson publicly stating multiple times that she'd love to be in a Star Wars thing. She wants to be a Jedi. Number two, you have the story about Samuel L. Jackson. Number three, you have Ashley, who is the voice of Ahsoka Tano, telling the story of geeking out, meeting Brie Larson, and all that kind of stuff. What you have now done, Rob, is you've created a petri dish, if you will, with all the ingredients to create wonderful rumors. And the rumor coming out of that is, number one, by the way, look at this piece of art that Ray made.
Wow.
Brie Larson as Ahsoka Tano. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Ray does great stuff. But you get all these people now, it's just the rumors start. Brie Larson is going to be Ahsoka Tano. Now, compiling all that, Rob, is the fact that there have been whispers and rumors that maybe an Ahsoka Tano will pop up in the new Star Wars show Mandalorian. That's because Dave Filoni's involved, and Dave Filoni has a permanent, hard-on for the Ahsoka Tano character. It's like his favorite character in the Star Wars verse, and I believe he's the one who created her. So you have all that stuff put together, and it creates this ripe environment for this. However, the reality is this. There are no real reports of Brie Larson being in any sort of discussions or whatever for it. Number one, we don't even know that Ahsoka Tano is going to be in anything. So there's first thing right there. That kills it right there. There's no word that Ahsoka Tano is going to be a character in anything upcoming other than animated stuff. Number two, there have been no legitimate reports about her being even in discussions for being in anything Star Wars related, let alone being Ahsoka Tano specifically. So while all the pieces of the puzzle are there for speculation-hungry film fans, and aren't we all, to put together the pieces to create this rumor, the bottom line is it is a baseless rumor. Now, does that mean that we could never see a Brie Larson as Ahsoka Tano? Absolutely not. Doesn't mean that at all. Maybe she could at some point. But as of right now, there's nothing legitimate behind it. Rob, I'll tell you what. Brie Larson's one of the best actresses on the planet. She just headlined her own movie that made over $1 billion, something that Chris Hemsworth never did in the MCU. None of his headline movies ever made $1 billion, not even the best of them. Benedict Cumberbatch's headline film didn't make $1 billion. Paul Rudd's headlined MCU films never made $1 billion. She's an Academy Award winning, one of the most talented actresses in the world. She's just headlined a film that made over $1 billion. I'd be down. I don't like the Ahsoka Tano character. That makes me very unpopular amongst my fellow Star Wars fans. I do not like the Ahsoka Tano character. But if they announced tomorrow that they were going to do it and she was going to be in it, I think Star Wars fans, particularly Ahsoka Tano fans, should get down on their hands and knees and thank whatever gods they worship that was going to happen. But I don't see it happening. I don't think this is real. Nothing's backing it up. So there you go, Rob. Number one, with all the stuff that you've seen and heard, do you think there's any real validity to the possibility of Brie Larson being Ahsoka Tano? And number two, if it were true, do you think that would be a good move or a bad move at this point?
Well, one, I don't think it's true. You should also mention that her directorial debut, that co-star Sam Jackson, dropped on Netflix.
Oh, that's right.
I think it's called Unicorn Store.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, really? You saw it?
Yeah, my friend has a small role in it, so I watched it the other day. Yeah, it's very quirky, very like artsy quirky. It's interesting. You guys should see it.
All right, I want to put it on my list.
I want to watch it. And, of course, I'm supposed to say that Brie Larson is a man-hating social justice warrior, right? Isn't that what we're all supposed to say? I love Brie Larson. She's a fantastic actress. She's not some activist that needs to be shunned. She just wants to have people have more of a chance to write reviews and things like that. What is wrong with that? I don't know. I've enjoyed watching Brie Larson, specifically her relationship with Sam Jackson, which is kind of endearing and adorable, like because they've worked together and they really like one another.
Yeah, and I've heard Sam Jackson say he wants to do a buddy cop movie with Brie Larson.
Yeah,
he said he really wants to do
which
that.
we kind of saw in Captain Marvel.
Yes.
I was thinking to myself when I'm watching it, I would love to see like a Riggs and Murtaugh, situation, do kind of a comedic, more of a comedic Lethal Weapon. I'm a huge fan of hers, and by the way, she's been in the business for a really long time. I mean, for somebody who's what,
so young,
30, she's paid her dues. Have you paid your dues, Jack? Yes, sir. Just from Big Trouble in Little China. The check is in the mail, and she has paid her dues. So I like Brie Larson. I can't wait, by the way, to buy the Steelbook of Captain Marvel, which actually I prepaid for, so I have to pick it up next Tuesday at Best Buy. The Steelbook for the 4K version of Captain Marvel, and I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to love it.
Yeah, I think it would be great if it were to happen, but bottom line is I don't think this is happening, guys. So there's that. All right, guys, what would you think about that? Number one, do you actually think there's any validity to these rumors? I don't, but maybe you do. Jump down in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts.